Welcome back, everybody. We're here for day 19 of 21 days anti-aging protocol to awaken your inner lioness. And today we're talking about nourishing relationships. And so as we start kind of winding down, I'm going to ask you to give me a little bit of feedback, sharing with me what you got out of your participation in the last 21 days. Maybe something you applied, maybe something that inspired you, maybe something that got you back in action, maybe some tweaks on the things you already know, but you weren't necessarily applying and being able to adjust the course of your life. And so when you do that, it starts with a new trajectory, a new timeline. And I want to take a moment just to acknowledge every single one of you who have the courage to actually start. Because I offer this training as a way for you guys to get started, but there is nothing I can do as far as doing the work myself. You guys have to get started and commit and declare and do the actions because there's nothing I can do other than getting you inspired. And so I want to take a minute to post the live online. If you can just share with me something of value that you got, and as well as letting us know where you're tuning in from. If you are tuning in from US, East Coast, West Coast, are you in Europe? I know there's some people in South America. I know there's some people in Australia. There's people in Europe. And so it's exciting to have people from everywhere here. All right, we're almost done here. As you join us, maybe introduce yourself or share something of value, and we're going to get started in just a second. I know everybody takes a little moment to trickle in. I see at least one of you online now. And let's go ahead and get started. I think that I managed to put it in the group. Let me see if I can tag it to the top, which is also important. If not, you can refresh the screen and it should be there. Yeah, there you go. Let me see if it's let me. Yep, for some reason it does not let me tag it to the top. So hopefully you guys figured it out and look for the information over there. And I'll just go ahead and get started. So today's day 19. So we're starting to wrap up all the concepts that we've been through. And for me, most importantly, is for you guys to have the mindset shift to really understand that it's going to take an identity shift to step into the new version of you. And so don't have it that it's going to be just the action. There is a sense of being fed up, being at the bottom of the barrel, overwhelmed, cynical, resigned, not wanting to continue living this way that makes you just absolutely fed up. And from that place of understanding the impact that you are having with not taking care of yourself, not making yourself a priority, feeling bad, feeling shame, feeling guilt for whatever it is that you're doing, then from there, you just make a decision to start taking care of yourself. What we're talking about today is all about nourishing relationships. But we're not going to go into talking about relationships with anybody else before talking about the relationship that you have with yourself. Because ultimately, that is where the key, the golden things are, is developing a relationship with ourselves where we are nurturing our soul, we're nurturing our self care, we're nurturing our inner child, we're attending to the emotions that sometimes freeze us up or overwhelm us, and that we're able to transform those patterns that disempower us into patterns that continue to empower us, learn, grow, and move on in life. And so we need to catch ourselves and we really need to put energy, attention, focus, intentionality to create that connection with yourself. Some of us are just running around, very busy, multitasking, spreading ourselves thin, paying attention to everything and everybody outside of ourselves, and not taking that moment to just unwind, relax, connect, breathe, and trust that everything that you're experiencing is perfectly the way it is, and there is nothing else you need to kind of go through with effort and stress and anxiety to be able to create. Sometimes when we are able to create that chill, that relaxed state, being able to understand that we're worthy, that we're exactly where we're meant to be, then abundance comes in, peace comes in, all the things that when we're trying to force the outcome, we kind of contract, force it. push and pull. There's a lot of tension, and sometimes what we want to accomplish doesn't get accomplished. Why? Because we have attachment to the outcome that we're trying to create. So we need to be able to relax, let go, release, surrender, trust that things were going to come up and that you're going to be exactly where you need to be, and there's nothing you need to do in changing the way things are going. Trusting really from your heart, from your soul, that you're exactly where you need to be. And that doesn't mean sit and wait, right? Like you got to keep on moving forward. You have to, make your goals, commit to them, stay consistent, become disciplined, really, really commit to yourself and your self care. But initially, it comes from that being fed up, watching yourself kind of floundering and giving up and feeling resigned and cynical and being exhausted and feeling burnout and all the things, and then saying, no more. I'm going to change the direction. I'm going to start a new action and I'm going to stay consistent, committed, disciplined. One of the things that I can feel like I haven't really emphasized because I don't like to be so like negative or bring up something that will not feel like empowerment. But the truth of the matter is, most of us women falter in that commitment, consistency, and discipline. And it could be because we feel shame or guilt in taking care of ourselves. It could be because we feel like we have to go out and save the world. It could be that tendency of nurturing everything and everybody around us. But the truth of the matter is, unless you create that relationship with yourself before anybody else, first and foremost, prioritizing that connection truly with your own soul, with your desires, with your dreams, with your purpose, with the things that you want to experience in life, everything else will be completely irrelevant. So let's start with connecting with ourselves, slowing down, taking a moment to listen to the little whisper behind our ear. Sometimes it comes in the form of synchronicities, messages from the universe. You find a person that tells you something that kind of bing, 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 wakes you up and reminds you of something. And many times it connects the dots for you, or it inspires you, or makes you aware of something different. Those synchronicities are absolutely everything when we are in this journey of transformation. So you have to pay attention. But in order to pay attention, we also need to slow down. And so creating intentionally that connection with ourselves, listening to ourselves, nourishing ourselves, taking the time, slowing down, applying self-care principles for everything that we do, saying no when we mean no instead of saying yes and feeling resentful of overextending ourselves. And that is basically what our main focus should be out of these 21 days. If I leave you with one thing and only one thing, it will be you are your most important priority, and everything else comes after. Because even if you have to take care of your kids or whoever else that you're in charge of taking care of, you cannot do it from a place of being broken, burned out, exhausted, not functioning, and overwhelmed. You have to kind of empower yourself in order to provide more value for everybody else. And so that's basically a concept that encompasses everything we've been talking about and then wraps up the training itself, also like highlighting the fact that we falter at that self-care. We fail at it. We don't put it in. We think we do. We want to. We're half committed, but truly, then we don't follow through. We give up. We get resigned and cynical. We procrastinate. We don't believe in our capacity. We don't know where to start. We get distracted. All the things that happen as women, and usually I tend to attract a lot of women that are blue in the aura colors. I think we might do this training on Monday. What is your aura color? Because I think that that would be great insight for you guys to understand what is your tendency for operating in life. And I'm going to explain to you what the blue color means for me when we use this particular test that gives you a sense of your aura. A blue woman is a woman that tends to not take care of herself because she's too busy taking care of everybody. And so she has relegated her own self-care, her own priorities, her own dreams, desires to be able to provide for family, for friends, for a significant other, for the job, for the community, for whatever it is. They have provided a lot of value, but in turn, they absolutely abandon themselves. And so the blue is something that is a characteristic of how you operate. And what we want to turn that blue into is more of a purple violet. Violet is a leader, a woman that prioritizes herself from a place of understanding that there will be better quality, more presence, more energy, better mindset when you're able to take care of yourself. And from that place of your cup being filled, then you can make an impact with everybody else at a much higher level, much more effectively, and without feeling that you are going into burnout mode. So when I talk about who I tend to attract the blue woman that wants to become a violet or a purple, which means that she wants to go more towards her purpose, that she wants to learn how to take care of herself. She wants to step back from providing everything for everybody, being spread thin, burned out, overwhelmed, resigned and cynical about her own self care, and that she's now going to shift the attention without abandoning everything else, but shift the attention for it to be mostly your self care and prioritizing yourself. And from that place, you're going to be much more effective at making your tray bigger to kind of take care of other things, to encompass other people that might need for you to provide something without feeling overextended or burnout. You will have more energy, better focus, less irritability, all these things, and even better mindset. And so it's important that we start with that. And we're going to go into three different tips that are going to talk about relationships that nourish you. Okay. The first one is protecting your peace, protecting that peace, like you protect that sleep, like you protect that baby that you had if you have been a mom, whatever it is, like you protect your pet, you protect whoever you love, protecting that peace, making it a priority, make it a non-negotiable, making it a point of focus, and really honoring you feeling at peace. Sometimes we tolerate situations, people, dynamics, places, and we don't feel comfortable there. And sometimes we don't realize that grown independent adults, we can actually remove ourselves from the situation as a matter of our choice. And it's a sense of boundaries, taking care of myself. That doesn't make me feel good. I'm not inspired. I feel bombarded with attacks or negativity or not, held by this particular community or person or place. So I remove myself from it and I protect my peace. It says here, not everyone deserves unlimited access to your time and energy. Healthy boundaries are not selfish. They are essential for your health, healing, and happiness. And so if we operate from that place, relationships naturally change in the nature of the way we manage and uh, relate with people. We need to start from I'm the most important thing. My priority is to to do the self care, to feel good, energized, not abandoning myself. And from that place, then I can actually provide more to everybody else. But the boundaries that I need to set to say no to things are healthy, they're required, they're imperative and non-negotiable. So you have to learn not feeling bad about it, not feeling guilt or shame or feeling like it's wrong or whatever can come up when you're actually saying no to the things you used to say yes to that kept you overwhelmed and burned out and cynical and resigned and resentful in many cases because you couldn't take care of yourself. You were too busy and focused on everybody else. And so that's the first point for today, the first tip for today. The second one is choosing relationships that uplift you. So being really intentional about the people you spend time and you share your energy with, not doing it in big communities if you don't feel safe, choosing the people that you like to have more vulnerable, intimate relationships from a place of who's making me feel safe, who is providing a lot of respect for me, who sees my potential, who's encouraging, who's inspiring, who's rooting for me, who's supportive, who's there for me to win, who looks at me as capable, deserving, loving, and has that level of respect towards me that would actually uplift me and let me be who I truly am without feeling obligation or guilt or shame or anything else, that I'm truly standing in my power, that I believe in myself, that I'm worthy of all that I've received. And there is nothing over there that anybody else can do that could hurt me. And so if there are situations or relationships where you have people that are not uplifting, that are not inspiring, that are negative, that make you feel a certain way that is not so good, then you remove yourself from those relationships. But furthermore, it's choosing those relationships intentionally, going after, being aware, not settling, all these things that are important for you to be able to create those kind of relationships. So it says spend more time with people who encourage your growth, celebrate your wins, and remind you of your worth. Your environment shapes your mindset. Your people, we're always with people that are negative, that are complaining, that don't see possibilities, that are stuck, that are sort of like a black hole that want to eat up all our energy and cause us to feel drained. Guess what? You're a grown adult individual and independent, and you can remove yourself from those situations. Excuse yourself, remove yourself, cut the course, leave the people, leave the place. You're allowed. You don't have to tolerate things that don't settle well in your tummy. And so being able to honor yourself is more important than anything else. And then the last one, but not least, and I think is the most important one for us women, is asking for support. You're here and you have been here for the last 21 days. Why? Because we're a community of heart centered women that are all committed to this transformation, want to learn, get inspired, get in action, cause the change, the transformation, manifest a new reality. So it's naturally pulling us to be a participant in this particular space. And so for you is being able to ask the support that you need. Some of you want a free session. Take advantage of that. I'm going to be there for you to make a difference, to inspire you, to help you figure it out something that's not working, to move forward, to get unstuck. Whatever it is that you need, so take advantage of those free sessions and reach out for support, for questions, for anything you need. You also know I have the 12-week program that's available for you starting next week. There are payment options. There's a payment in full option. It's a 12-week program that really is very much designed to be able to provide what I know women need. It's support, it's accountability, it's community, inspiration, and all the tools that you need to apply, knowing the how, so that you can actually start empowering yourself, losing the weight, managing the sugar, getting your health to improve, feeling better mentally, physically, emotionally, or our soul is being expressed in the world with our purpose, with our mission, because we're now all of a sudden taken care of, at peace, centered, grounded, empowered, instead of being in the rat race and feeling overwhelmed and all the things that might have been present before we started with the training. So I'm hoping and I believe in your capacity of making the changes. And that's why I say the homework is the most important thing. I can talk here until I turn blue. And if you're not applying the things that we're talking about, if you're not doing your homework, if you're not committing to listen to the training, if you're not kind of changing, transforming, recreating the mindset that keeps you stuck, you're going to keep on that loop of the vicious cycle and the conditioning and spinning in wheels and feeling not so productive. And so the affirmation for today, day 19, is I surround myself with relationships that nourish my soul. I honor boundaries, protect my peace, and welcome love, support, and positive change, positive energy into my life. So I'm going to read it again. I surround myself with relationships that nourish my soul. I honor my boundaries, protect my peace, and welcome love, support, and positive energy into my life. So it's not just saying the affirmation, it's being, embodying, stepping into that possibility and being that distinction. That possibility is now alive and real in my life because I'm being that, right? It's not talking about it, it's being about it. So the embodiment is going to be the most important thing. And I see somebody just tuned in. Share with us where you're tuning in from. Let us know if there's any questions, comments, anything you want to share. We're going to go right into the homework. The homework for today, day 19, is nourish your circle. So we're going to be intentional at nourishing your circle. And the first thing we're going to do is take a few quiet minutes and reflect on these questions. I put a lot of questions for you guys. Inventory questions are great for us to become aware beyond the thinking doing XYZ, like really checking in. Am I taking care of myself? Am I making myself a priority? Am I honoring my own boundaries? What do I need to do in order to do that? So it's checking into the reality of what's so versus living in la la land fantasy, right? Checking in. First question is, who are the people in my life that leave me feeling energized, supported, and inspired? Who are the people in my life that leave me feeling energized, supported, and inspired? And I want to know if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share, identify because it is for you. And when you identify those people that leave you inspired, then you will have an easier time being able to making them a priority for your life, not spending so much time with the people that drain you, maybe removing from some environments where you feel like not inspired. These people drain me. They're negative, complaining. They're not creating any different outcome. It's always the same. It's boring. All these things that happen. Sometimes we're in groups where we don't feel inspired. We don't feel held. We don't feel like we're connected with the people. And so going into the places that we feel good and nourishing our circle. If certain people don't feel that they're a match any longer, Irish exit. Leave without announcing your departure. Nobody really needs to know. You just excuse yourself and move on and remove yourself from that environment. You don't need to announce. You don't need to be upset. There needs to be a reason, an explanation, an apology, none of that. You just remove yourself from that environment. Question number two is there a relationship or commitment that consistently drains my energy and needs a healthier boundary? Right? Big check in there, big reality check. So you would know better than me what it is like in your life. But I know that I have my own share of struggles with personal relationships and friend relationships and work relationships and all kinds of relationships and where I felt like the relationship was not really providing me that source of inspiration or feeling support or feeling energized. It felt like it was not balanced. It felt like a drain, obligation, heavy, dense, a drag. And so we want to really create those relationships where we are, or places and dynamics where we're feeling inspired, where we're feeling safe, when we're feeling that that energy is being honored and that we're not trying to be around people that want to kind of collapse our world of possibility and make it destroyed because they're living from negativity, from fear, projecting anger into our life or whatever the case might be. You know better than me what it's like in your life, but I'm encouraging you to honor your boundaries, to make yourself a priority, and to remove yourself from toxic environments where you feel like your tummy is churning, that doesn't feel good, that is not nourishing. It's you honoring yourself without any explanation. That is giving yourself what you need, so nobody expects it or has to. That's my definition of boundaries. So is there a relationship or commitment that consistently drains my energy and needs a healthier boundary? Maybe you have to say no. Maybe you have to remove yourself. Maybe you have to limit the amount of time that you are in certain environments or with certain people in certain situations. And only you know from that awareness, but really checking in, noticing, allowing yourself to feel the impact of that. If it's true, being graceful, not making yourself wrong, not beating yourself up, but hey, you have a chance to change things, to transform things, to release things that no longer serve, and you have to honor yourself before anything. And so taking the action, removing yourself from those environments. And then the last one is, what is one boundary I can lovingly set this week to protect my peace? A boundary can be as simple as I go to work out 3 times a week, no matter what's going on. Maybe it could be saying no to somebody I usually feel obligated to say yes to. Maybe it's making a request from somebody and telling them not too long, to do a certain thing that bothers them. So those are the things that we need to start doing. Little changes, small little victories, celebrate yourself, pat yourself in the back, and really create that synergy of keep on living your life that way versus living the life that you had before where maybe boundaries weren't so strong, maybe feeling like you had obligations that you needed to fulfill, feeling guilty, feeling shameful, feeling like it's the wrong thing to do. You have permission today to make yourself a priority from understanding that you have a better version available for everybody else And there's no shaming that or fear or there's no guilt that should be present. So we are going to take that small action today, such as sending a message of gratitude to someone that encourages us or saying no to something that doesn't align with your priorities. Schedule time with somebody that fills you up, fills your energy, makes you feel good, assured, love, appreciated, relaxed, chill, happy, right? So scheduling time, being intentional of filling your cup, nurturing your circle. So you have those people in your life that make you feel good. Yeah. And spending less time setting boundaries with the people or situations that leave you feeling depleted. Okay, any of those could be actions or anything else that you decide. And then the last but not least is one word in the homework that describes the kind of relationship you're choosing to create. A relationship that provides peace, support, trust, love, community, connection. What's important for you? What is a non negotiable? What makes your heart sing? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel really comfortable in your tummy to be able to be vulnerable, open up, be yourself, be excited? All those things that we want in life. And so being able to say that out loud is a form of declaration affirmation that will make it more likely to show up and be a match of what you're declaring. So I invite you to share that one word as a form of affirmation declaration, enough, right, drawing the little sand, the line in the sand. From now on, this is only what I accept and choosing peace, support, trust, love, community, and or connection or whatever else you come up with, which is your priority. Last but not least, the people that surround you will either fuel your growth or drain your energy. So choose the relationships that help your inner lioness grow stronger and every single day. And that is what my invitation to you guys is. So if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to share, I invite you to post it in the chat. I'd be happy to go over that. I also have two winners for the free session today, two people that even we're a little bit later in the game of this 21 days, they are jumping in to watch the replays and to participate. And sometimes it takes that, right? It takes a little bit of time to get started, to tune in, to prioritize yourself, to shift your attention. And so the two winners for today are Rebecca and Stephanie. I acknowledge you for your commitment, for your resilience, and for your time, because it's going to take time to be able to go through the material. But I know one thing for a fact: if you take time to go through the material and do the homework, there will be a much um, better lifestyle and quality of life that will be available for you after you go through everything. And I'm here to support you. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to go on to a longer journey as supporting you for 3 months. And so if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share with me, don't hesitate to reach out. Those two winners, I'm going to reach out to you, Rebecca and Stephanie, and book a time that we can meet over this week. And the last few things I want to say is tomorrow we're going to do the replays again. Some of you are still catching replays. I was going to finish the training on Monday, but I'm going to extend it until Tuesday. So tomorrow I'll put the replays for the last week. If you want the replays for the rest, let me know. I'll send them to you through private message, but I posted it last week. And so if you're starting late and you want to have all the replays sent to you, let me know. I'll send them all together. But tomorrow, I'm only going to be sharing all the replays for this last week. Sunday, we'll take a day off. We'll watch replays. Monday, we'll have a live in Zoom. And then Tuesday, we will have the wrap up of the whole training. And you're going to be invited to give me feedback and or ask questions or invited to participate in the 12-week program that's going to be starting this week. So thank you so much, you guys. It's 11:30, and so I'm releasing you to enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a great time. Take care of yourself, and make sure you also rest. I will see you back at 8 p.m. on Monday night. Take care. Bye-bye.